What is up, you crazy mother flowers? It's me, it's Steve, and I'm back at it one more time with a new video. Thank you for watching this video, tuning in back into the channel. If you're new here, mother flowers, hit that sub button down below. Give this video a big old thumbs up. Why the fuck not? Also, mother flowers, you can follow me on Twitter at HeelSteven, where I tweet throughout all these shows, Raw and SmackDown, NXT, pay-per-views, Impact, you name it. I do it all. Also, while you're at it, share this video throughout your entire social medias. This is overall my review and recap, my overall thoughts on this week's episode of SmackDown Live for July 17th, 2018, the post-Extreme Rules episode of SmackDown Live. And I'm going to say this, okay? In my honest opinion, other than AJ Styles and Andrade Cien Almas and Jeff Hardy versus Shinsuke Nakamura, which I thought were probably the two best things on the show, everything else I felt like was in between. I'm not saying this episode was a bad show at all. I just feel like everything was just, here and there. Comparing this to Monday Night Raw, this was better than Raw, hands down. I feel like SmackDown Live is doing a better job in building up towards SummerSlam. Again, I've been saying this since my Extreme Rules review. WWE has literally 4 weeks now as we speak to get people excited for SummerSlam. And hopefully they can, do that job. Let's see. But that's my honest opinion. I, as always, want it from you. In the comment threads of this video, your thoughts on this episode of SmackDown Live. If you liked it, if you hated it, are you, I guess, now excited for SummerSlam? Let me fucking know in the comment threads, or if not, let me know on Twitter. So, this show kicked off with AJ Styles versus Andrade Cien Almas. So, this literally started where AJ was arriving into the building. They literally showed a video that they literally aired on their YouTube channel early in the day. It's Styles arriving into the building and confronted by Zelina Vega, and Zelina Vega wanting Styles to, face Andrade Cien Almas for the WWE Championship at SummerSlam. Now, if you remember during NXT, it was sort of similar to the same build-up that Andrade Cien Almas had with Drew McIntyre for the NXT Championship during TakeOver War Games, where Zelina Vega kept, annoying the hell out of Drew McIntyre until they had the match. And Styles said, "Why is Andrade not here?" And Zelina Vega says, "Hey, Andrade does the talking in the ring." And Styles pretty much, they wanted to say, "Hey, listen, why wait till SummerSlam to do this tonight?" So they had the match tonight. It was a non-title match. And it kicked off the show. I'll be real about it. When I saw that video early in the day, a part of me thought, okay, this will probably be the main event. Because again, hey, it's the WWE Champion going up against an upcoming star in Andrade Cien Almas. Why the hell not? It's sad. Not even the WWE Champion. He can't even close on fucking SmackDown Live. Like, bruh, it sucks when you're AJ Styles and you can't close a show on the show that you allegedly built. When you think about it. But the match itself, again, it was a very, very good match. Crazy back and forth. Got near falls here. Andrade Cien Almas, I felt like tonight his stock even rose to a higher level. Even in defeat. Now, granted, I agree. Him losing, the way that he did, I know people are like, oh, mad about it. Why he tap out right away? Why didn't Zelina Vega get involved? And I said this on Twitter. Hey, listen, I do not expect this to be a SummerSlam match. In essence, like, okay, it's a match just for TV, and that's it. A part of me really believes that at SummerSlam it's gonna be Samoa Joe and AJ Styles. But nonetheless, again, even in defeat, I feel like Andrade won in a way. Granted, a lot of people in that building did not know who the fuck Andrade Cien Almas even was. Like, there were moments where they were quiet and shit. But I feel like, again, anyone who knows Andrade, we all know how good he is. From watching his matches against Johnny Gargano, from the match with TakeOver Philadelphia, from the matches with Aleister Black, like this guy can really go out there and he can really, really tear it up. And I think somewhere down the road, these two guys will do it again. Maybe for the championship, but we'll see. But again, I think even in defeat, Andrade came out with a moral victory, nonetheless. And I look forward to seeing what the fuck they're gonna do with Andrade Cien Almas. And if you're WWE, you cannot kill this guy's momentum right now. This guy right now is on a momentum right now. I know he lost, but they need to continue going with this forward. We find out later in the show that next week, Paige will announce who Styles will face. I guess an announcement will be made. And the way I look at it too is like, who do you have right now? I said Samoa Joe. I think Samoa Joe right now makes a lot of sense. And I think it will be a good match to see at SummerSlam at the Barclays Center that people will love. You know, we all know how good these two guys can go. They've had numerous matches in Ring of Honor and in Impact Wrestling. So imagine those two guys, Styles and Samoa Joe, for the WWE Championship in what is arguably WWE's second biggest show of the year. Shut up and take my money. Seriously, shut up and take my fucking money. But for Andrade Cien Almas, I'll be real about it. I picture this guy one day being a future Intercontinental Champion. So we'll see where that goes down the road. We get Becky Lynch versus Mandy Rose. Becky Lynch has been on his winning spree, literally on a tear, beating up the likes of Billie Kay, Peyton Royce, Sonya Deville. And tonight, she ended up beating Mandy Rose with the disarmer. And after that, she got on the mic and she really said, hey, you know, she's been on these winning, she's been literally on a winning, you know, streak as of late. And now it's time for, in her words, a Becky Balboa to get a shot at Carmella, and Straight Fire is coming, and she wants to be women's champion. And in the back, you see Paige watching all this and gets interrupted by Carmella, and Carmella wants another celebration, another big party for beating Asuka twice. She reminded her that she beat Asuka twice, she beat Charlotte twice, and then Paige went on to say, you know, I can give you your big party, but you have to beat Becky Lynch next week. Now for the championship, don't worry, it's a non-title match, but if Becky beats you, then you'll have to defend the SmackDown Women's Championship against Becky Lynch at SummerSlam. Now, the writing's on the wall, Motherflower. The writing's on the fucking wall. It's going to be Becky and Carmella at SummerSlam. Becky Lynch will be involved in the championship match at SummerSlam. It would not make sense for her not to be, especially when she's been in this alleged winning streak. Again, she beat, you know, Peyton Royce, Billie Kay, Mandy Rose, Sonya Deville, Charlotte, to name a few. At the same time, though, you're like, what about Asuka, though? Where does Asuka go from here? What the fuck do you do with Asuka? You know, it's like Asuka's been like the big disappointment in all of this. You know, since coming from NXT, you know, since losing at WrestleMania, it's like they've done really like a big disappointment. It's been a crime what they've done with Asuka. I get it. In a perfect scenario, the IWC's, you know, match for SummerSlam would be it'll be Becky Lynch versus Asuka for the championship, which it should be. But at the same time, hey, Carmella is the New Yorker in this whole thing, and you want her to go into her alleged home city as the SmackDown Women's Champion. And again, it's their second biggest show of the year. But we'll see what happens with Asuka. If anything, I'm going to say this too. And this is, again, my honest opinion. Why not do the rematch between Asuka and Charlotte? Doesn't have to be for the championship, but it's the fucking rematch. And you have, again, two of the bigger stars of that brand from the women's division on the card. Why the hell not? Give me your thoughts on that if you want to see that match between Charlotte and Asuka. Again, it's not for the championship, but it's the rematch months later on, again, WWE's second biggest show of the year at the Barclays Center. We have The Miz holding a funeral or a eulogy for Team Hell No. As you all know, at Extreme Rules, Team Hell No lost to the Bludgeon Brothers and were not able to capture the SmackDown Tag Team titles. Miz pretty much went on a roasting spree here, making fun of Bryan, making fun of Kane, at the same time promoting his movie, or I'm sorry, his TV show, Miz and Mrs., mentioning how he was, you know, the MVP on the Celebrity MLB game this past Sunday. People were chanting MVP. And again, just Miz just insulting Daniel Bryan, how all this was just a facade. It wasn't, you know, all this just so Bryan could allegedly have this moment to be a failure. And Bryan literally is a failure in Miz's eyes. And all this led to Bryan coming out and Bryan going apeshit on The Miz for a bit, and I guess the Undertaker, or the Bears, if you will, the guy that were there literally outside the ring. And it's one of those things where it's like, you know where they're going with this, Miz and Daniel Bryan. People are saying, hey, they should go at it at SummerSlam. It should be a slow build, and I get that, because, yeah, we've heard interviews where Bryan said that the idea would be Miz versus Bryan at WrestleMania for the championship, but at the same time, you know, SummerSlam is coming up in just a couple of weeks, and you want to stack this card to the best as you possibly can. And you know what? Miz versus Bryan at SummerSlam wouldn't be a bad idea. I mean, you don't have to just do one match. You could do Miz and Bryan here at SummerSlam, where Bryan gets the win, and then down the road, you have the Miz win the WWE title. Whether it be from AJ Styles or somebody, but it happens. Okay? And Bryan, being that he beat Miz already, will be, I guess, the first one in line, and you slowly build that shit up until WrestleMania. Meaning, does Bryan have to win the Royal Rumble? Maybe so, but we'll see how they get there. We'll fucking see how the fuck they're gonna get to WrestleMania. But it's an idea. It's a fucking idea that they could possibly work. We then had Eric Young versus Kofi Kingston in a one-on-one match. And by the way, this match, for what it was an okay match. I'm not saying anything crazy or anything like that. You had members of Sanity outside the ring and members of the New Day outside the ring. It led to a moment where everyone was brawling outside the ring. And I guess it was Killian Dane who threw Xavier Woods into like the apron. And I guess in that whole moment, Xavier Woods, and it wasn't intentional, anything like that, he hit Kofi Kingston, which caused Eric Young to hit the wheelbarrow neckbreaker to win the match. So Eric Young picks up a win over Kofi Kingston. And like I said, in my Extreme Rules review, I look forward to seeing the combination of matches you can make with the members of New Day and the members of Sanity. Why the fuck not? Shut up and take my money. And again, for a fact they might have another match at SummerSlam. Maybe on the kickoff show, but we'll see. I didn't say this earlier, but we had Samoa Joe versus Ty Dillinger. Before the match, you see Dillinger in the locker room getting ready for the match, and out comes, R-Truth trying to talk to him, but, Dillinger wasn't having it, right? That wasn't having it, and he walked away, but at the same time, you realize that, R-Truth was wearing a Bluetooth. I guess he was talking to his mom, right? Which, again, it was comedy for what it is, it is what it is. But Samoa Joe versus Ty Dillinger was a short match. Dillinger had a momentum at first, and then Samoa Joe just literally choked him out, and that was the end of that. But like I said, though, to me, the SummerSlam match for the WWE title should be Samoa Joe and AJ Styles. And I hope, and I don't want to be repetitive with this shit, I hope it goes into that direction. Then we get the main event. We get AJ Styles. We get Jeff Hardy versus Shinsuke Nakamura for the WWE Championship. Before this match even took place, early in the show, that is, Jeff Hardy got in the ring. He cut a promo talking about how he's no longer Jeff Hardy. He's broken. He's empty. He doesn't have the U.S. title anymore. How Shinsuke Nakamura is a jackass and shit like that. And how he wants his belt back. And then you see Nakamura with Renee Young. I guess she was interviewing him and they were watching the whole shit backstage. And Nakamura says, hey, Jeff Hardy is a sad clown. And it's time for everyone to smile. And because, again, Nakamura wants everyone to smile. He's a U.S. champion, and he wants to he literally said, God bless America, which was funny, but hey, it is what it is. The match overall, I thought was a very good match. I get it. If you're someone out there and you paid money to go to Extreme Rules and you were looking forward to seeing Nakamura and Hardy, and it ended in like 3 seconds, and then you see them have this match on SmackDown Live, you're going to feel some kind of way. Of course you are. That being said, this match was pretty good. Crazy back and forth. It's crazy too because, again, I know that Jeff Hardy is hurt and he was able to go out there and just tear it up with Nakamura, which I thought was pretty good. And it looked like Jeff Hardy was going to actually get the win. It looked like, he hit the twist of fate, went for the swanton, went for the cover, and then Randy Orton interfered, pulled him from under the ring, and just start beating the holy hell out of him. Literally smashing Hardy's head onto the ring, onto the steel steps, telling him, you want to know why I did what I did? Want to know why I did what I did? You got to find out, and stuff like that. It got to a moment where Randy Orton put his finger in between the gauges, right, of where Jeff Hardy puts his gauges on and shit, and it starts like pulling it. Granted, for a fact he wasn't really pulling it back or anything like that. I know for a fact, like, I got friends that have gauges on and shit, and when they don't rock anything in the ear, it doesn't hurt anything. But the visual of Randy Orton just pulling it and just grabbing it, it looked disgusting. There was someone in the crowd doing this shit like, oh, because again, just think about that, right? Some crazy shit you could do now in crap, right? And all this led to Randy Orton hitting a DDT from the announce table onto the floor to Jeff Hardy to close the show. Again, I thought SmackDown Live, again, you know, with the whole Andrade Cien Almas and AJ Styles versus, and the whole Jeff Hardy and Shinsuke Nakamura, everything on the show I just felt like was in between. But these two matches were very good matches, and I look forward to seeing next week what's going to happen. Who's going to be the one to challenge AJ Styles? A part of me said they'll even do a tournament, because why the fuck not? You got to kill time and shit. And I look forward to seeing as well what happens with Randy Orton. Who was the big announcement? Why he did what he did at Extreme Rules and stuff like that. A part of me wants to say, because hey, you know, Jeff Hardy took his moment away months ago. You never fucking know, all right? At the same time, we're gonna see, you know, between Carmella and Becky Lynch what's gonna happen. We all know eventually, but still, you just never fucking really know at the end of the day. I mean, Ellsworth wasn't even tonight on the show. Maybe Ellsworth's time is already done, if you will. But let's see what happens. Again, WWE has a couple weeks to get people excited for SummerSlam. And let's see if they can do it. Give me your thoughts down below in the comment thread of this video. Your thoughts on this week's episode of SmackDown Live. If you liked the show, if you hated the show, let me fucking know. Follow me on Twitter at HeelSteven, where I tweet throughout all these shows. SmackDown, Raw, NXT, Impact, pay-per-view and stuff like that. I will be recording tomorrow my Impact Wrestling Slammiversary predictions, and as well my NXT review. So expect 2 videos to drop on this channel tomorrow. So again, if you're new here, hit that sub button down below. You do not want to miss those videos. And as well, this Sunday, I will be watching and I will be reviewing Impact Wrestling Slammiversary. Alright? So also follow me on Twitter and all that fun stuff. As always, motherflowers, hate, comment, and subscribe. And as always, it's me. It's Steve. It's hot as fuck over here in Jersey, and I'm out. Peace out, motherflowers.